Namaste, Mr. Bharat Sharma ji. Welcome to the Rubber Industry News Hour. Thank you for taking a time to join this panel discussion on the rubber chemicals, quality, and handling. Okay, welcome to this session.
Thank you, Param. I would also like to thank for inviting me to this particular forum and taking my opinion on this subject. Go ahead.
Yeah. So let's dive into the the key issues what we discussed. Before I get into the chemical aspects, you are currently a president of the corporate technical services for the TWC Group, and which is one-stop solution for the specialized rubber chemicals. Can you talk about, briefly introduce about the product line, please?
Yeah, TWC Chemicals or TWC Group has got two sister companies. One is Technovex Cam. They got two plants in Calcutta and one plant at Baroda, which is Rasha Chemicals. They make specialized chemical and with a kind of objective of going ahead and doing the import substitution, which are kind of valuable customers are looking for. So we keep on developing new chemicals which are special and being used by our major customers, which are tire industries, for their special requirement, which typically no one is producing. So we've got a specialized line like bonding chemicals, which are resorcinol, HMMM, and their dispersion, HMT dispersions. HMMM, practically, we are the only one making HMMM here and making HMM dispersions as well. We also make specialized resins, which are now alpha methyl styrene resins for high performance tires. We make phenolic resins, which are kind of SP1068 equivalent. We are second in the world to make a special resin called co-resin, having superior or supermost stack for rubber compounds. We also have process aids, various process aids and homogenizers required by tire industries. We also have kind of customer-friendly wood resins converted from wood resin into pastel form, which people find it comfortable. We also have kind of gum resins and various dispersions, and we supply all across the world, and our volumes are going to be almost about 500 crores this year, and we target to achieve almost about 1,000 crore in 2025. We have good expansion going on, and volumes are almost 50,000 tons, which is going to increase to about 100,000 tons by 2025. We have expansion plan in place, and we are working on a special projects with joint venture with companies, and we've been recognized by many major companies as a valuable development partner and research oriented people or technical savvy organizations. So that's a kind of big short info. It's a private company led by Sushil Agrawal and his two sons, which is Abhishek Agrawal and Ashish Agrawal. I think that should be good enough.
Yeah, that's excellent. I think you should have a long list of product line, and I can say that I understand that you supply to the major tire companies. So quality of your chemicals is very important for the
I missed one subject, which is wax. We also make specialized waxes meeting all requirement. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So can you talk about you are, as you mentioned, that you supply to the various tire companies locally and internationally. What are the quality management systems that you implement in your company before you supply to the deliver to the clients?
See, Param, I've got a very special or atypical exposure. I started while working for tire industries, 3 tire industries in India, having collaborations across multinational companies, and then moved to the other side of the world, which is rubber, which is supplying to the tire industry. So I was kind of aware about the requirements, what customers are looking for, because I've been hardcore rubber compounder and lab person. So basically, I was expecting that when we joined this company TWC, what customers are looking for. We're very well prepared. So whenever we kind of give the samples to customer, we ensure that what is customer looking for. So we do have a rubber application center also, which takes care of testing and simulating customers' expectations before we approach the customers. So kind of a development activity. Yes, homologation with the tire measures is really a big challenge, but we are lucky that our clientele list includes most of the multinational companies, and we are now expanding our focus on non-tire customers as well. But yes, our clientele list is pretty good. We supply to almost 34, 35 countries, and obviously in India as well. So we are kind of approved by many
Yeah.
people.
And I do get the point that that's well everything in systematic way that you implement. Can you highlight for the benefit of the audience? What are the things that you suppose I'm the customer, I'm wanted to buy some chemical from you, and
Mhm.
what kind of management systems that you submit to us, provide us, whether it is certifications or on the
Okay.
uh,
So
test results and things like that. Yeah.
So I'll try to give you 2 3 points. One is, okay, when we go about development of materials, we go take the samples, we take counter samples, we do the specification review, we see the capabilities of whether we can develop similar systems or similar chemicals here, and we keep on interacting with the customer. We are under technical secrecy agreement. So that is one. Once we develop, then we supply them lab samples, trial samples, and plant trial samples. And once they're satisfied, then it goes into the approved vendor list. So that is one part of system. But yes, as a part of supplying to customers, we know that the consistency of our product has to be very important. So we ensure that what we kind of follow, if not Six Sigma, maybe much more stringent than Six Sigma, because the product specification is much wider, because we have to cater to different customers. So when it comes to handling customer expectation, we really see and focus on customers' need, what customer is looking for, and we try to maintain compliance to have a much closer CPK what they are looking for. Maybe because many customers are rating us or giving us rating based on CPK values. So if the CPK is poor, we get a low value. So we practically ensure that the customer gets the right material towards the central part of their specification. That is what is base requirement. Yes, the plant control, the SQC, SPC, and ensuring continuous improvement, optimization of processing, etc. These are the ongoing projects. But yes, with the focus that ultimate end product quality is consistent. That has been our focus. Now, coming to the next point is, how do we handle post production process? So post production is, we ensure that the material is delivered FIFO basis. We also ensure the trucks, etc., are selected on the right basis. They're practically covered with the tarpaulin, etc., when it moves out of the customer godown or our plant. And we also kind of going to, or we have already started using containers for our export as well as into Indian customers, so that the material doesn't get contaminated. And obviously the kind of storage also has to be proper. We try to do that storage as well. Good control conditions, but yes, to the best possible. Under present condition, you have to have proper ventilated stores. That kind of scenario we have with us.
So, and can you talk a little bit about the, see, of course, every product has a shelf life. So you have a wide range of rubber chemicals, and also you, in the past experience of yours, you have seen so many,
Yeah.
issues. So can you talk about expiry periods of different types of chemicals that you supply currently, or which are the very sensitive chemicals? What are their the shelf life, estimated shelf life of those? Of course, you make sure that they store it properly. So
Yeah, typically we are guaranteeing shelf life of 1 year, if not 2 years. That is one. But besides shelf life, One is how you store it, because if you're some material which are having low softening point or low melting point, or because of the nature we make resins, so that resins starts getting self agglomerated. So instead of free flowing pastels, it becomes a big lump. That is where we need to be very, very cautious, and we store it not over much on each bag, and we supply in specially designed carton or paper bag so that the material stays in its physical and usable form. So we practically ensure that kind of a scenario. Otherwise, and we also in our MLTS we have mentioned that this material has to be stored properly. There's a material which is being developed, AMS. Now imagine that AMS is being imported under cold containers. So these there the air-conditioned containers being imported, and the material is supposed to be stored there, because if you keep it in open, it becomes a big lump and you can't use it as a normal free-flowing material. So we are developing with our customers even to make it as a powder. So that's kind of shelf life scenario. Yes, FIFO, once it is exceeding the shelf life, one has to recertify that its active content, reactivity, etc. is intact. If not, it has to be reprocessed or maybe disposed.
And how do you dispose? Suppose the client buys the chemicals from you, and suppose they, for whatever reasons, they did not able to use it within the time frame. Is there any way that to take it back those chemicals and reprocess them, or
Well,
anything,
that's
or
a very
immediately?
typical. No, that's very typical, because once you give it to customer has got their technical team also to decide, and overnight the activity is not going to change to that extent. Only thing is you have to add or maybe subtract little. Otherwise, people tend to consume, because every plant also under the governing of systems like ISO, etc., they also have to ensure FIFO is followed. So we also in plant follow FIFO for dispatch of our product. So with that, we don't overstore, as well as the customer at the same time, they also have the FIFO in practice. So we have not heard any case where the material has exceeded its shelf life. Yes, we have heard cases where material has become a big lump and customer is finding difficult. So such cases, we kind of help the customer by doing the process, because we got a batch process and we can work out and rework the material to the best of the customer's requirement. And while we rework, that time we again cross-check its properties. But that is
And
very, very rare. I will say, in last 5 years, maybe once or twice, this kind of scenario must have taken place. Otherwise, no.
so in your experience, long experience, of course, with the
Mhm,
TWC and before with the various companies you are involved,
mhm,
what
mhm.
kind of bad practices you have seen when handling these chemicals and yeah.
See, bad practices are, one is things are improving. Okay, driven by systems requirement, safety requirement, employee safety, environment safety requirement. Things are really, really improvising. Like there was a time in Europe where many chemicals which are toxic, which are being used in nitrosamine kind of accelerators. So many places, especially in Europe and US, those kind of chemicals have been banned. India still is using it, but there also people have moved away because they are also exporting. So accordingly, they've reduced the use of nitrosamine kind of accelerators. So that is one. Handling safety of people in the process is again a very vital parameter. People maybe as a practice or as a kind of less importance to safety tend to bypass, like lockout, tag out, etc. These are required for normal process operations. Using PPEs in the while they're working in the environment, having providing safety showers and eye washes in the area where chemicals are being used, wearing proper gloves when you're handling toxic materials. So all that is kind of I'll say less followed. But yes, things are improving and people are demanding safe working environment. So in our case also we handle many chemicals which are kind of resource knowledge one which has got heavy fumes when it sublimes. But yes, we have sufficient exposures control. We have exhaust systems in place, and sufficient precautions are taken by us in the process. So that kind of scenario is there. But yes, safety in Indian organizations are improving versus the overseas organization, because I've been exposed to ExxonMobil, which is kind of on a different pole versus normal companies. So
Sure.
ExxonMobil is super safety conscious organization.
And the TWC provides any training to the
Yes,
customers with reference to the how to handle the chemicals, or what kind of precautions to be taken care of, and when you
yeah, okay. TWC, yes, we do have MSDS, which is a basic requirement to be followed. In fact, that we also practice that whenever we get some new chemicals to try, we review the MSDS first, so that what kind of precautions will be taken as a preventive measures. Same way, the customer also follow MSDS. They've got their safety department, which ensures that MSDS for the particular chemicals are being followed by them in totality. And that one is a parameter. But yes, when we give it to customer, we say this material is like this. We supply all the samples with MSDS, and if there is anything special, we tell them upfront. Touch wood, there is nothing special on our material, and that thing is covered in MSDS.
Okay. Well, I think we covered a wide range of issues related to the chemicals and the related to the quality aspects of it. Thank you very much, Mr. Bharat Sharma, for joining this
Yeah,
session. I
thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you in the future sessions as appropriate for your experience, and also the focus on our subjects. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Param, and thank you, listeners. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Bye.